Aloha, Soul Family. Welcome to our end of days, and that's DAZE. As usual, footage is raw, unedited, so we're just going to kind of swing with it. Might cough or sneeze, or who knows what'll happen. Interact with people? Probably not, but we'll see. Uh, anyway, I'm going to kind of touch upon spiritual stuff. I know I did a social commentary yesterday, so I kind of wanted to go back to. It's related because everything's tied together, right? But let's just get into it. There we are spiritual people, okay? Is in we're souls, okay? And so there's theories, that some people are not, or some humans, don't have souls, or they're NPCs, or in a lot of ways, I don't know how to say it. It's none of my business. I know what I am, and I like to assume that most people do have souls. They're just in varying stages of development. Is kind of what it is. At varying stages of awareness, as I say on my channel. Uh, and so they're growing. They're getting to know it. Hey, it might take a few lifetimes. All right, they might need to stick their hand in that fire, a few lifetimes, a few thousand lifetimes before they realize that fire burns you. And it is what it is. All right. Like I said, we're all in varying stages of development, and so there's no shame with that path. Okay, and so I like, even if I'm not looking down upon anybody, okay, just like I don't want to be looked down upon. All right, there's things that I don't necessarily understand that the higher forces are probably laughing, hopefully with me, being like, ha ha, you're still learning. uh, but that's also part of the premise and why the service works in the way that it does, is because when we're serving as teachers for people, for then it helps us be taught to as well. Then we're on the path, is the best way to say it. And this is part of the energetic structure that I wanted to talk about today, uh, 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 along with a few other things. Actually, I'm going to kind of go over all over the. I'm going to go all over the place today. So we're there's like a pattern of life that is for life, aware of life, and enriches life. There is also a pattern which diminishes life, takes away from life, and makes things worse. And these patterns are just what they are. They're just patterns. Um, in the past, I've talked about it, and I'm kind of glazing it when I say this. The diminishing path is like the path of resilience, because you're gonna see how strong you really are taking this path, the path of ignorance, where you will get hurt over and over and over, but you won't die. All right, you might die in this lifetime. All right, you might die in several different ways, but you will just continue to experience pain and hardship to the nth degree. And the other path, it's not all buttercups and rainbows, okay? It's the path of strength. It's the path of awareness. It's the choice to choose to confront the situation as it is rather than as we want it to be. And in doing so, we find out that we are strong enough to choose the truth, to choose a way of living which is in alignment with the way that things are. And that makes things better. Like, just in my opinion, it's as I said in a different video of mine, it's easier to choose the path of ignorance at first, but its returns are increase, like both returns for each pattern is exponential. All right, and so as someone takes the path of ignorance, it is exponentially worse. All right, it's like having a wound, okay, and just powering through it, ignoring the wound, okay. At first, it's fine, all right. It's better than even dressing the wound or addressing the situation, because hey, I'll just power through it. I'll ignore the pain, whatever. That pain will increase as the wound gets worse, because not attending to the wound, not being aware of that wound, what will happen? Rather than heal, rather than going through a natural healing process, what ends up happening is the wound gets worse. All right. And so there's going to be more infirmaries, more injuries, more, you know, death in that kind of a way, where things are going to get worse. The other way is where, all right, I don't want to. I wish I wasn't wounded, but hey, there's a wound here, so I'm gonna have to take it easy. Maybe bandage it up, dress the wounds, disinfect it. Do what I have to do. If it's a broken bone, if it's a sprain, to not put pressure on it. All right, to take a lighter side, and then as it heals, we become stronger. All right, and then that wound is gone. Like this is why the path of conscious awareness is so wonderful. All right, the path of strength is worth it. It's harder at first, but the returns of it are a healthy lifestyle, are a beauty that one gets to enjoy. All right, because this is life, guys. Look at where I am. All right, this is beautiful. All right, you don't look at the trash that's over there, but you know what I mean by that. All right, like for me, I love being able to walk to off the wall places and explore. Um, with that said, I want to apply this to society in general, as well as in communities, and that we can get like a. There was someone like I did a shout out to her before. I'll try to do it in the description, but definitely to another YouTuber. Her name is Marina Karlova. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. One of my favorite YouTubers. I have a lot of favorite YouTubers here, and I'll try to give proper shout outs to every single one. Okay. If the camera shakes a little bit, it is what it is. I'm kind of on an unstable foundation here, but it's better than sitting on the direct rocks right here. Anyway, continuing to go on, Marina Karlova, excellent YouTuber. She is tapped in. She is on the path of strength, man. She is such a strong individual. You can tell what she's been through. Heard a little bit about her story. She shared a little bit about it on her YouTube channel, but just a very aware, honest, authentic person. My opinion, someone to be admired. All right. And I hope to draw from that strength and be an example of that myself. All right. One of the things that she talked about today was something which has always gotten under my skin when it comes to society in general. And this is the path of ignorance. All right. That I'm talking about from before. It is hypocrisy. Because hypocrisy is such a like I recommend watching her video on hypocrisy. Okay, I'll link her channel. I'll give a shout out link to that particular video. I mean, it's an amazing video, you guys, and it explains the problems that we end up facing so much, where it is like being gaslit in a situation, and to people who are honest and authentic, hypocrisy is the worst. All right, it's like saying, well, we have these rules, everybody follows these rules, but these rules happen to be selectively enforced. They don't say this out loud, of course. That's not how hypocrisy works. It's like the emperor's new clothes, in a way, is how hypocrisy works, where it's just like everybody agrees just not to mention it. Yeah, the emperor's naked, all right, but we're not going to say anything, because as soon as we do, we break the illusion of hypocrisy. Okay. And in doing so, it reinforces the way that things are. And things can just continue on as they are. And not in a good way, you guys. Not in a good way. It's in the artificial way. I'm readjusting here. It's in the way of ignorance, okay? And so I think a lot of us honest people have been projected upon by the people who choose the path of ignorance, or who are currently on that path. Because that's a pattern, all right? You can change the pattern just like that. This is also the game here. It gets easier and easier to continue that pattern, no matter what pattern it is, okay? With that said, though, we can always fall, okay? Yeah, someone can be on the path of strength, the path of consciousness, self-awareness. But if we get, as the sun's coming out here, if we get lazy, all right, if we stop challenging ourselves in the way where we continue to be conscious, all right, if we say, well, you know what, I've done a lot of work, like, oh, there's this wound I have, and I addressed all my other wounds, I'll just power through this one, I don't need to look at it, I don't need to pay attention to it. That's the situation. Then we start to fall into that path of ignorance. Just like at any moment, all right? Yeah, someone could be super ignorant, all right? They could be super wounded, super just dragging themselves through mud and crap. And then in a single moment, they can be like, you know what? I'm tired of this path. All right, I'm gonna do what I can to address these wounds as I can, and I might not even be able to do it alone. I like God, the universe, whatever, the source, help me. I'm willing now. Okay, I'm willing to look at these wounds. I'm willing to go forward, and from that single choice, that heartfelt choice, everything changes. Okay, that's when everything particularly changes. And I'm sorry, I know it's shaking the camera here, but it is what it is, you guys. It's what I got. Okay, using the facilities and the things that I have available for me. And this is also why, at the moment, at least, I'm choosing the path of being homeless. Okay, it is because it is getting me in touch with my power, my freedom, and my ability to dress the wounds that are at least within me. All right. I feel like a lot of society, maybe my ancestors, because I talk about ancestral wounds, ancestral curses that need to be broken. And as I mentioned before in my channel, obviously, I'm in Hawaii, all right, and I'm the minority when it comes to my skin color, okay, but this serves a purpose, okay. This serves a very big purpose. Who am I? All right. What did my ancestors do? I think what my ancestors did was turn the other cheek, and not in the good way. Okay. If there was poverty, if there was corruption, you just ignore it. I'll just continue to go to my job. I'll just pay taxes. Yeah, the emperor's naked. Yeah, everything's full of hypocrisy, but no, 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 no. I'm just going to focus on my pleasure. All right, I'm just going to focus on my little short term, my little limited scope here, and I'll just keep my head down and keep doing everything that I'm supposed to do, and won't think about it. All right, go into ignorance, go unconscious. Is essentially what it is, limited consciousness. And what that does is create a society that gets to be more and more fractured. All right, it gets to be a society where we start ignoring the pain of others and also ignoring the pain within ourselves. All right, and kind of jumping around here, I know, right? But going back to what this means, then there's people who are on the path of strength who call out the hypocrisy, who call out those things. And what happens to them? They get projected on, all right? All of the weakness, all of the wounding that people have on the inside, they push it out and they say it's your. Because what happens is this person is like a light, okay? This is why I sometimes, like, I use a lot of different terminology. So you always have to apply to what I'm saying within the context that I'm saying, okay? But this individual who's on the path of strength, the path of self-consciousness, is like a light, okay, and they are dispersing the darkness, dispersing the confusion, all right. But what happens when a person who's been living in confusion, all right, in intentional ignorance, that basically happens, all right? The first thing that happens is their wounds get exposed, all right, and in that exposure of wounds there is a choice. That person can claim responsibility and be like, oh wow, I'm actually really hurting. I am super hurting right now. You just showed me how much I'm hurting with your happiness, with your brilliance, with your strength. You've just shown me that I'm not like you right now, that I'm actually weak, and that I'm in a very weakened state because of my choices, because of my wounds, all right? And I need to address these wounds inside myself. And with your brilliant light, you have shown me the way. You have revealed to me my own wounds. Thank you. It's a blessing for someone to do that. And people who are on the path of strength, when we see something, what other people have achieved or done with their lives, the vibrance, the connection to life that they have, we are inspired by it. We're like, oh, cool! Look at what's possible. Look at what I can reach for. All right. But in the process, there's people who are on the path of ignorance. Okay. And that's when the projection happens. All right. And people who are starting out on the path of strength, the path of self-consciousness, of self-awareness, I mean, what that means is that there will be what is, I would almost say, the dark night of the soul. Because people who are on this path, at least this is the way that it was for me, it was the hardest thing for me to overcome, because I would see this. I would see the truth. Because I love the truth. I would dedicate myself to the truth, okay? I have dedicated myself to the truth. That's the whole point. That's the whole point. But what I mean by this is I would then get projected upon. And it took me like a lifetime. All right, you guys, I'm 41 years old, and it just recently, just recently, am I really starting to piece things together over my entire life to see how heavily I was projected upon in my youth. All right, confirmation motorcycle there, but that's what it is. See, it went past. It's in the past now. What's what's important is the present moment right now. All right, and this is why I'm making these videos. This is why I'm doing this. And so I'll try to wrap it up here. I'm trying to keep it within 20 minutes if I can, with my videos, because I get on a roll, you guys. And so tying everything back together here, this is what I want to say. This is a shout out to the people who are on the path of strength, okay, with me, where it's just like, I know how heavily you've been projected upon by people who are ignorant, all right? When Jesus is on the cross in the Bible, and he says, "Forgive them, Father. They know not what they do." That is what this all means. This is what this all means, okay? If we're taking this story and we're drawing from it, we're drawing wisdom from this story, what this means is that we will bear that cross. We will take on their projections, but not in that way. It's seeing it for what it is, all right? It's their wounds, not ours, okay? All right? Light coming out again. Uh, we are this light, and not even that. The light comes through us because we allow it, because we choose it. Okay, and this pattern gets expressed through us. This pattern of strength, this pattern of self-awareness, and its beauty. It allows more beauty. It allows better things to come in. Okay, and it does require strength, especially in a world where ignorance seems to reign sometimes. I mean, Jesus, it seems to rain down like from the sky sometimes. All right, not necessarily, but you know what I mean by that. It seems to surround us sometimes, and that's okay. All right, while walking this path, we will see that we are strong enough. All right, and that this pattern is strong enough to exist no matter what. We just need to choose it. Okay, and so this is, if anything, this is a shout out to my community. All right, my community of people who are out there. You don't even have to be watching my videos right now. I hope you are, and then Shaka, if you are. Um, and then we are so much more. Oh, we got some people on the way. But that's the situation as it is. All right. Like I said, raw and unedited. And that it is so important for us to connect. Okay? Stay true to ourselves, to our path, to our plan, okay? And that even if other people are projecting on us or judging us for what we're doing, like this person might be right now, that's okay. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm here for, okay? And we're in this together. Okay, that's what I want to put out. That we are in this together. And so let me be a light here. Let me shine that for this moment, okay? No matter what your circumstances are, homeless, housed, whatever wounds you're dealing with, there's no judgment about that. It's just like, are you ready? If you have been in that path of ignorance, are you ready to look at your wounds? Are you ready? And then if you are of this path of strength where it's just like, dear goodness, thank you for being with me. All right, thank you for being here with me. We're doing this together. All right, because it's so important. Because as we rise together. As we rise alone, we rise together. Do you get it? Because sometimes we do have to walk alone. Sometimes that is what the plan is. It's to show us we don't need anybody. We don't need anything to make this choice, to make the path. All right, to be on this path, to choose this pattern. We get to choose it. And maybe that's part of the reason. All right, we get to see that we don't need anybody or anything to choose this path. Okay? In some ways, I feel like the path chooses us, but we get to choose it back, okay? And that's, maybe we'll just leave it at that, all right? Love you guys. Thank you for being here with me. Thanks for being present with me. No matter what path you're on, we're all in this together. It's about waking up, and I believe that we can all choose this pattern eventually. That's the plan, man. That's the plan. Even if it takes lifetimes, okay? This is all we got, man, right? We got eternity. So I'm choosing this. If you're choosing it with me, God bless you. And so we'll kind of leave it at that. Love you guys. All right. Love you. Thank you for being here with me. So peace out. Love within. Catch you on the flip side.